Are you a fan of basketball? Have you ever wondered how professional players perform the tricks with so much ease? Have you ever wanted to be a professional player because of your admiration for the players like the famous Michael Jordan? What if I told you there's a player who performed a move against Jordan which shocked the crowds? Watch till the end and we'll let you know who that legendary player was, what he did, and how we can do it. Firstly, what are some of the most significant moves in basketball? Dribbling is undoubtedly one of the most challenging parts when playing basketball, bouncing the ball with one hand without grabbing it. But if you mastered dribbling perfectly, it could be used for both offensive and defensive. On the offensive side, it's used to free yourself from a congested area and drive the ball up the court. Dribbling with both hands enables you to move in both directions. It makes it more challenging for the opposing defensive player to guard you. It also confuses those players. If you're dribbling perfectly, you can also use it as a stall tactic when you're cornered as a defensive mechanism. Most of the most incredible moves in basketball revolve around dribbling, such as hesitation dribble, behind the back dribble, in and out dribble, crossover dribble, and many more. And in the basketball world, many amaze the world with their dribble power, and among them is the person we'll talk about next. Up next, what was the legendary crossover by Allen Iverson? First of all, who is Allen Iverson? He is an American former professional basketball player who played 14 seasons in the NBA, who also won the NBA Rookie of the Year award in 1997 and was an 11-time NBA All-Star, won the All-Star MVP award in 2001 and 2005, and is often regarded as the greatest scorer and one of the most influential players in NBA history. Even as a rookie, he shook the world with his unique and mesmerizing handles and his crossovers, considered one of the most lethal moves in NBA history. But his iconic career-defining moment occurred when he was face-to-face with Michael Jordan. If you don't know who Michael Jordan is, take him as the greatest of the greatest in basketball history. Jordan was one of the most famous players in that sport, so famous that even non-basketball fans know who he is. This iconic moment happened when he smoked Michael Jordan with a mini crossover before hitting him with the entire move and draining the shot, resulting in a crowd-defining moment as everyone stood up out of respect for the rookie player. And most people think the AI came up with the move himself, but that's not the case. Even a legendary player has to learn his signature move somewhere, and AI's crossover has an origin story many might not know about. Furthermore, who taught the crossover move to Allen Iverson? We all played basketball in our schools, colleges, or even locally. Sometimes we see a player who destroys us during the game every time we play against him. This was the same case for Allen Iverson, a man who wasn't even recruited by a league that destroyed the legend on several occasions when playing basketball. A man who thought AI was the most vicious move in basketball history. A man named Dean Barry, who met Allen in college. Allen Iverson himself told him that this guy Dean Barry used to do it to him all the time, just cross over. He stated that it was vicious, and he used to get me with it in practice all the time because he had to guard him. But after a while, Allen stopped being stubborn and asked Dean Barry to teach him the vicious move, and he just wanted to have a move like that in his arsenal, so he did. And Allen, who routinely gets destroyed by the same motion, got famous because of that move. It shows that humility and desire to learn things can make a single man into a legend. Coming up next, how did he use this on Michael Jordan? Allen Iverson may have gotten his push from dribbling over Michael Jordan, but who exactly is he for non-basketball fans? Michael Jordan, or MJ for short, is a former professional basketball player. Not just any basketball player, but the greatest basketball player of all time, as mentioned on the official NBA website. He played 15 seasons in the National Basketball Association, NBA, being the Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and the most valuable player in his fourth season in the NBA. He also scored more than 3,000 points in a single season. In addition, he won 6 out of 15 NBA championships with his team, the Chicago Bulls, with the help of his teammates like Horace Grant, Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, and Ron Harper. And during that time, Jordan was the subject of plenty of stories, which we will be telling later on to better understand one of the NBA's all-time greatest. Up next, what are some of the most incredible Michael Jordan stories? There are many exciting stories and events during Michael Jordan's career, but here are some of the few stories that are greatest of them all. One time when MJ was playing his third professional game against the Milwaukee Bucks, MJ was already showcasing his poise and drive. At that time, time, the Bucks, a longtime powerhouse in the 1980s with 7 straight division titles, were ahead of the Bulls for most games. But during the fourth quarter, MJ reeled off 22 of his 32 points, leading to the Bulls' victory of 116-110. Many of the Milwaukee Bucks players were left dazed, and many of them were shocked. Even after the match, the Bucks coach and PF mentioned that Michael Jordan is an exceptional player who outplayed us in most of the game. MJ motivated the players even in the drastic situation, telling them that we could win and beat the Bucks, which they did in the end. Michael Jordan is a strong man, and he's 6'6" with an absolute colossal hand, an absolute nightmare for the opposing wing players as he was agile. His quick hand movements could tip away balls during an opponent's dribble. These features naturally led to an absurdly huge number of steals during his career. Best moments showing off this steal skill was in 1988 against the Celtics, where he had 8 successful steals in the first half, terrorizing Boston's passing lanes and dribblers. Up next, what are some other top MJ stories? All great players have amazingly great friends, but they also have great rivals. This was the case for Michael Jordan, too, as he had a testy relationship with Reggie Miller, which reached its boiling point in February of 1993. This all started as Miller hit a jumper over Jordan, and Reggie threw an elbow into Jordan's back, which led to Jordan delivering a solid punch to the chin of Miller. This resulted in Miller's immediate ejection from the game and later Jordan's suspension for a match. Not only players, but MJ had significant issues with one of his former general managers, Jerry Krause, which even caused Jordan to leave the Bulls until Phil Jackson didn't come back. Even when Jordan was absent, his greatness was proved as the Bull had several bad basketball seasons, including a 49-pointer game in 1999. Yes, 49 points across a full 4 quarters from the whole team. Michael Jordan was such a legend that one of his dunks even cost a man to pay a fine of $5,000. The player was Danny Ferry, and the reason for the penalty was that Ferry delivered a punch to MJ, all because in the previous game, Jordan made a dunk so brutal that it made Ferry embarrassed. As Jordan was against Ferry, he lazily comes up to court and followed a hesitant move that created the space for an explosive drive. MJ finished with a thunderous slam on Danny Ferry. Many people believe that MJ might have lost his luster, but it was just a hoax as he came back in 1995 when he scored 55 points in a single game. This wasn't the first time he scored 50 points, as in the 1988 playoffs, MJ scored 50 points in Game 1 and 55 points in Game 2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This was also the first time in the NBA that a player scored back-to-back 50. He was modest and told the reporters that the Bulls playing as a team made this happen. Lastly, what should an NBA player do after retirement? Even after such success, every good thing must end. The same scenario applies to all basketball players who retired from international basketball, but this doesn't mean that those players do nothing. What most basketball players who withdraw without a severe injury do a lot of stuff, including investment, as most players have a lot of savings after retirement. Hence, they invested in their own companies or other companies. Few players start working for charity or real estate businesses by purchasing many real estates or renting from the money that they earn from the plays. Some NBA players aren't ready to leave the game for good, so they spend time coaching and teaching other players. And, as in many sports, former NBA players also join a team or a channel for broadcasting, announcing, or commentary. And, of course, some of the NBA players pursue some of their hobbies and interests like traveling, gardening, and many more. This was all for today. If you like this video, hit the like button and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and have turned on your notifications so that you will not miss any of our videos. Thanks for watching.